Over the past few weeks, I've been spending part of my evenings reading, and so lately I've been reading this book. It's called Rider Pride on the American Side, and it's written by a guy from Minneapolis, Minnesota, who happened to become a fan of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, has come up to more than 40 games, and eventually became a season ticket holder. It's kind of an interesting story because as he started becoming a fan, he would come up here and start visiting with people, and he's met all kinds of players and all kinds of personnel across the CFL, and he's gone to Grey Cup games, and he's just got a lot of interesting stories. It's kind of fun. But one of the most interesting things about this book is the perspective that he gives on Saskatchewan. He just loves Saskatchewan. He thinks it's the nicest place. He loves Taylor Field, he loves Regina, he thinks people in Canada are just wonderful. He tells all kinds of stories about nice people who have helped him, and in lots of ways I think he wishes he lived here because it's such a great place. That's kind of a neat thing to read about because sometimes we forget how good we have things. Sometimes we complain about Regina. We complain about being in Saskatchewan, and here's a guy who thinks this is the best place in the world. In fact, he wrote a whole book about it. I don't know what your week looks like this week. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know what's happening or what you're dealing with right now, but I do know this, that even in our hardest times, there are always good things to find. There are always good things to see. God is always blessing us, and so we need to keep looking for the good things. It's interesting that sometimes outsiders see our blessings better than we do, but maybe the challenge this week is to see your blessings yourself. One of the things that makes me really mad when I'm kind of down, Sarah will often say, "List 3 blessings you have." It makes me so mad, but it's actually a good practice. It's a good thing to do because it's easy to focus on the negative. It's harder to keep remembering that you are blessed more than you can imagine. Matthew chapter 5 reminds us that God sends his rain on the just and the unjust. That's just a simple little phrase that reminds us that God is blessing us all the time, whether we deserve it or not, and most of the time we don't. So we've got lots of good things. Maybe we need to look at that this week. Here's one more good thing for you as well. I'm almost done this book, and I'm going to give it to somebody. If you've watched this video and you would like to read this book, let me know. It can be yours, and you can be reminded of how great Saskatchewan is too.